Hey there. So, I would appreciate if anybody pops in. Wait till I get a few viewers here. Yeah. Ugh. Really hope that the audio is working. I'm using a different microphone tonight, just a little lavalier microphone. And I literally, like, if you all could see where I'm at and where I'm doing this at and how I'm doing this, this is borderline comical right now. This is the most hacked together, like last second stream. I'm using a different green screen. I'm in my garage, not in the studio. So anyway, alrighty. So welcome to Way of the Dad Live Stripe stream number 3 from the Way of the Dad Not at All Converted Garage Studios or something like that. So yeah, I literally threw this together last minute because the studio is under construction. So my lighting is very far off right now. I am using a green screen and it's not very good, but it's better than what's behind the green screen, which is just garage shelves with parts dividers and, you know, random tools on the shelf and things of that nature. So, lighting is, well, at least it's lit. I guess I got that going for me, which is nice. So, what do we have for tonight? We have something near and dear to my heart. We've got some Guinness tonight, ladies and gents. And we're going to make sure we... Oh, God, listen to that nitrous. Or that nitrogen. Not nitrous, but... And we're going to pour that puppy just the way it was intended. I don't know if you can see those bubbles. That is nitrogen. Gorgeous. So now I'm going to have to let that sit for a minute. That's the only bad thing about a Guinness is you have to be patient. You can't just pour it in there and get down to it. Anyway, okay, so I will probably not be doing an extremely long stream tonight. Like I said, this is hacked together something awful right now. I've got my, let's just say my desk in my garage was not set up for this. And I mean not set up as in it is an absolute, it's just totally trashed in here. So I just hurried up and moved a whole bunch of things out of the way, and we're going to try to make this work. I can't hear myself talk because my lavalier microphone, even though it's supposed to be able to monitor, for some odd reason, I cannot monitor. I can't use my headphones. My audio input says it's capturing my voice. I hope it is. I hope the audio quality is not absolutely terrible. This little microphone's not that bad, but with this room, acoustics, and everything else, I have no idea what it sounds like. I wish I did. So hopefully it's marginally better than nails on a chalkboard. You know, that'd be nice, right? There we go. Cheers. Delicious. Someone I know sent me a meme about Guinness, and it was Simpsons. It was a Simpsons meme. It was a screen capture, I'm sure, from a episode, and it was basically saying that Guinness was nothing but was basically equal parts bog water and Hershey's chocolate syrup or something like that. I'm good with that. All right, so let's get down to it. I'm going to go ahead and... well, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping on the channel because I think a little bit of a little bits in order here. I don't know what happened between the last Stripe stream and this Stripe stream, but I'm real happy about it. I went from single digit number subscribers to over 250. So whoever out there subscribed up, I want to say thank you very much. It does make me feel like I'm starting to get a little traction and I'm starting to make a little movement on this channel. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. I hope you like what you see here. Obviously, I don't just do Bengal stuff. I pop culture stuff, and sometimes I will do when I have to be in the right mood for this, or I have to have the right inspiration, I guess. But I will, you know, do some videos on, like, you know, things going on, or things like parenting lessons, things I've learned as a parent, or things I'm learning as a parent. You know, I've got two teenagers, and you know, and that presents its own unique and dynamic those are really political words I'm using there. Unique and dynamic set of challenges. And you know, and then of course the the nature of just being a dad for the first time with teenagers this old. So there's things about it that as a parent you're just you're figuring it out as you go as well, you know. So I am thankfully, as of today, very close to getting back into my studio. Everything is insulated. A lot of the wall coverings are up. Now, I don't know, I probably won't be able to drop the green screen right away, because even though I'll have some of the background up, I won't have it finished the way I want to, and I want to reveal it when it's done. I might take some pictures. I should have community access, or access to my community on the Facebook or on the YouTube page, but for some odd reason it went on my personal YouTube account, even though I have literally one subscriber and I don't even know why I have one. So I've got to send an email to YouTube about that and ask them why that is when it should be over on this channel. So, yeah, I'm blown away. So I'm hoping that for anybody who does join in tonight, please leave comments. I will respond to them, unless they're obviously spam comments. I'm not going to respond to spam because, well, it's spam. Now, spam's okay for in a pinch and for breakfast, and you know, a little bit of fried spam's not that bad. I like that, but not in my live stream, and not in my YouTube comments. So I'll probably avoid that. But if you have a comment, I'll respond to it. If you watch this stream after it has gone live and after it's over, please don't hesitate to comment on there. I right now I'm doing my best to get on and really check to see if there's any comments or things like that. I'm trying to be good about that. You know, maybe if I get to be I don't know, a tenth of Joe Rogan or something, I might not be able to manage those comments quite as well. But I think right now I can totally manage the comments. So that's a little bit what's going on. Hopefully I can get everything done in the studio tomorrow, so I can at least get my setup back out there, because I don't like doing it in the garage because the garage is loud. Every time a car drives down the street, I hear it. Amazon Air is still loud enough in here. And then of course, if anybody's walking around the house or anybody talks inside the house, I can hear it. And I think this microphone, I don't know if this microphone will catch it, but my normal mic will definitely catch everything. So I think that about wraps up any channel updates or anything like that. Let's get into the purpose of tonight's stream, and let's finish pouring the rest of that Guinness in there. All right, there we go. So what are we dealing with right now? Where are we at? And I would say I did last week's Stripe stream with a lot of confidence and a lot of quite frankly, feeling pretty good. Obviously, the Ravens game did not go the way any Bengals fan hoped. Whether you thought they were going to lose or you thought they were going to win, or you're an optimist or a pessimist, glass half full, glass half empty, glass just is just half, whatever. Um, I think it's very safe to say that we all were hoping for a win. And I almost did a short reaction, but I'll be honest, I was not in a good frame of mind after that game because I watched a team that was just frustrating to watch. I mean, that team came out as flat and dead as I've ever seen them for the first, what is it, 3 or 4 drives. And then Von Bell, gets that interception. And now all of a sudden, the offense comes out full of juice. I mean, just jacked up. And all of a sudden, now they know how to get positive yardage plays, first downs. I don't know what the hell they were doing before. It obviously wasn't working. Whatever Taylor and Burrow and Callahan had scripted, and I do know Burrow's usually pretty good part of the of the game planning and the approach and things like that. I don't know what was going on, but it did not work. It was not working. The script, which is usually about, generally speaking, the first 15 to 20 plays, maybe like first drive or two, is kind of scripted. This is how we plan to attack them right off the bat, okay? And so they did the typical thing that the Bengals seem to do, which is start slow. But this was a little different than just starting slow, where they would usually make some hay, but kind of fizzle out and have to settle for a field goal. This they look just totally flat. No energy, no juice. Like they're out there just going through the motions or something. Like I don't know what, you can't get jacked up to play the Ravens? Then Von Bell intercepts the pass, changes the whole thing, and there used to be my buddy Dave was watching the game with me, and he had told me, or we were talking, I should say, and it made me remember there used to be a show, and I don't know if it was on NFL Network or ESPN or Fox, I can't remember, but it was called Turning Points. And it was 100%, the whole show was dedicated to talking about the moment in the game where everything turned. A lot of times it's interception or some kind of a turnover, but it can be something else. And that was what that felt like immediately, because as soon as I saw the offense on the field, after about 2-3 plays, I'm like, oh shit, they woke up. Okay, great. All right, now let's get down to business, guys. You end the half and you're tied. You wanted to be ahead, but hey, back in the game, right? And they stopped the Ravens on the opening possession of the third quarter because the Ravens won the coin toss and deferred. And this game was back and forth, and I knew it would be. It's the Ravens. The Ravens were going to come out. They were going to want to get their revenge on the Bengals for last year, but also because they were racking up a not very good streak at home of five straight home losses. And that's crazy. So, I knew they were going to come out ready to play, and of course it's division game. They're always ready to play. We're ready to play. I mean, it's division. You usually there's almost like a different feel to them, a different speed or whatever. So they go do their thing, and it's just this like back and forth tit for tat type thing. And I knew it was going to come down to the end. It just felt like one of those games that was going to come down to the end. But I questioned that thought when we had a chance to get a touchdown. And we didn't. And we didn't get it in one of the most frustrating set of plays I've ever seen. And I don't know Like, I understood the first one to throw it towards Hayden Hurst. I understood that perfectly well. That made good sense. Wasn't actually a bad matchup. Hurst was 100% held. Guy held his arm so he couldn't turn and get that back shoulder throw. Well, I don't know if that was a back shoulder. I guess it was kind of a back shoulder, but it was going to be placed out ahead of him so that only he could get it. Defender couldn't get it. Couldn't get the angle on it. But they held his arm, and I don't know if it's one of those things where the refs are not going to call pass interference twice in a row on the same player or something like some BS like that. So that I understood. And then they got really cute in the most frustrating way I've ever seen. They try to do this the what is it, the Philly special. I mean, no offense. How Oh my god, it's so frustrating. When I saw that and then I saw Tyler Boyd had the ball and then he's holding on to the ball and I'm thinking, like, you don't run this play, like, you never run it in a way where the defense knows you're going to run it and you have to hurry up. You have to know to just chuck the ball. If the play ain't there, you just chuck the ball. Because the Ravens stayed in zone. They didn't follow. They weren't in man coverage. If they were, Burrow might have been open, which is, kind of the design of the play. But since they stayed in zone, cornerback stayed in his area and Burrow's over there, and so he's 100% covered. And not to get hard on Tyler Boyd too much, but it's like he had a guy coming straight at him and he could 100% see him. Dude, chuck that thing in the stands, make a fan's night, throw him a ball, okay? Just get rid of it. But he takes a miserably bad sack. They get it back to the goal line, and now it's fourth and what was it? 4th and 1, 4th and inches, something like that. I can't remember. It was close, within 2 yards or less. And then, no, it was less than 2 yards because they did that damn shovel pass, and I don't know why that's not run as a little bit more of an option. And I'm not an X's and O's guys to be quite fully honest. But I don't know why that's not like kind of an option thing where if Burrow sees that the guy he's supposed to shovel pass inside to is not there, there's an option for him to find someone over on that side of the field that he's running towards anyway and try to throw it in. I don't know. I don't think Burrow was going to be able to take that and just tuck it and run and try to get in. I don't know if he would have made it. That play was so blown up, it wasn't even funny. Lael Collins might have done something wrong on the play. It looks like he did something wrong. I don't know if he didn't hold his block right. I don't know if he came off his block too early or something I don't know what he did. Taylor was getting into him on the sideline over it, and whatever. So that was phenomenally disappointing. And then the problem is okay, you can make a case for that. I don't mind going for it. Don't mind it at all. I have no problem with that. But if you're going to go for it and you miss or you don't get it, they're starting out on like the 1 yard line. We need the defense to pick it up, and they couldn't. Defense has been, so you're not going to find too much complaint about the defense from me overall. The defense has done their job. They have been really good this year. Not perfect. And missing DJ Reader is definitely noticeable. But, they couldn't stop him. And that's pretty disappointing. It's just it was really disappointing to watch them just march right down the field. We eventually ended up getting a touchdown, got the lead, but with the time that was still on the clock, it was I don't want to say it was inevitable, but as I'm like kind of doing the mental math, timeouts left, time left on the clock, the Bengals defense hadn't been exactly what you call locked down, vice grip type defense. And I mean, the Ravens have been able to make, I mean, they've been stopping them for field goals, but the Ravens have been able to make good pushes. And getting field goals was not a problem for them that night. And apparently, I can't remember where I read this. I don't know. It might have been Cincy Jungle or something like that. But they talked about how the Ravens had known when they saw that lineup, they knew that it was going to be a shovel. Was it a shovel pass? I can't remember. There was one that they knew that they were already on, and it was either the shovel pass or the Philly special because they had been running it. And I think it was the shovel pass, if I remember correctly. So that game was just so disappointing. And once the Ravens got the ball back, and just the time, and oh God, it's just gut wrenching because you just knew they were going to get down there, and then they made just an absolute backbreaking first down, and Tucker goes out there, and Justin Tucker, as much as I don't like it, I'd almost say he's probably the best kicker in the NFL right now. I do think Evan McPherson is a really, really, really good kicker, and I think he's top 3 at least. But he's also younger, and he's just not, he just hasn't been around long yet. But Justin Tucker he just don't miss. And so, it was really disappointing. I was really, really, just pissed off. If woulda, coulda, shoulda type stuff, if the Bengals hadn't been so flat coming out the gates, if they had just, and this is I guess this is where I come back to with the Ravens game, with the failed touchdown attempt on the goal line, or at goal to go, was this is the AFC North. You're not playing, some other team that you don't play hardly at all, or some team in the NFC that you only see once every 4 years. You're playing your division rivals who know you so well. And in the division, this is a smash mouth type of football. This is hard nosed, hard hits. It's one of the tough. If it's not the toughest division, it's got to be top 2 or 3. Top, it's got to be up there. Come on. It's always a tough division, and teams always play hard, especially against each other. Whether they play hard outside the division or not is irrelevant. Every time they play each other, teams in this division always come, step up. And there's something to be said. You might have been able to, instead of calling that Philly special bullshit and calling the shovel pass, and it's cute. It's like, we're gonna sneak in on you. We're gonna slide under the radar and outwit you and outsmart you and stuff. When they really should have found someone who can play fullback position, usually a backup tight end, maybe someone on the D line who really just loves to get down to throwing a block, like Damata Pecco used to do. Put someone in there at more of a fullback position, and just tell them from the word go, we are absolutely going to shove this thing down your damn throats. And we are going to own you, and we are going to manhandle you. We are going to out tough you. Whatever. That's not the best, but you know what I mean. You're gonna establish your dominance. You're gonna tell them this is the tone of the game and this is how it's going to be. And you can do all you want, but we are going to shove this down your damn throats. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And they didn't do that. And in some ways, the Ravens could have, and I don't know if they did, but the Ravens could have seen that, all those cutesy little plays, those little trick plays, as like, oh, they can't actually line up and beat us. And what the more baffling thing is, the run game came back. Hallelujah. Joe Mixon was cracking off runs, Samaje Perine was cracking off runs. And then we got cute. So, extraordinarily disappointing, frustrating, irritating, aggravating, blah, 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 blah. Let's open the thesaurus and find 5 more words that work. Um, so, I was thrilled to see the run game come back. I was thrilled to see the line generally doing a pretty good job overall. I mean, not perfect, but overall doing a pretty good job, and the line looks like they're doing a little better. Big scare with Jonah Williams going out for a little while, but he came back in. Apparently, he dislocated his kneecap, and they popped it back in place. Oh, Jesus. That's, I grab, oh man. That made my knee hurt when I heard that. So, um, so, there was a lot of heat thrown at Taylor's way, a lot of heat thrown, and I will say I really do like what I heard from Burrow in the sense of there was no throwing anybody under the bus or any of that stuff, and it's not ideal, but hey, you know we got a chance to get back to 500 this week, and then we can start maybe stringing together something or whatever. Um, but I do feel like they need to figure this out. And whatever the holdup is, whatever I don't know, this is frustrating inability to be consistent on offense. It's going to have to get sorted out here fairly soon. They need to turn it on and flip the switch because, yeah, 3-3 sounds okay. And especially in this division, nobody's really walked away with anything. It's not like when anybody started off 5-0 or, or 5-1 or 4-1, whatever. Nobody's 5-1 yet. So, but that's still 6 games gone out of a 17-game season. There's only 11 left. So I'm not saying it's like quote unquote must win, but it's damn sure better start winning. If you want your lives to be a lot easier come the end of the season and maybe get a home playoff game, a home playoff berth, hell, whether home or away, you just want to get in at this point. So I the Bills, they look legit. Chiefs look like they're figuring it out. I mean, come on, you know, forgive me, but shit or get off the pot. Got to get going. So, um, so let's talk about the Saints. And lo and behold, somehow the Fates have allowed for the 3rd year in a row on a 3rd different team for Andy Dalton to start and face his old team, the Bengals. I mean, that's got to be some kind of a record, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like a never happened before type of like bit of information, or I mean, maybe it has happened before, but it feels like it couldn't have happened that often, where somehow a quarterback keeps going to different teams as the backup, but somehow just keeps being the starter for that game due to injury or whatever when his old team comes to town, the Bengals, or his previous team, somebody else, some other team. It just seems crazy to me. It's absolutely, that's just fucking crazy. So, anyway, so I'm hoping that means that Burrow can actually exercise this particular demon, so to speak. Burrow and the offense can, really, really hit the ground running. Come out all just guns blazing. And just lay waste. I mean, I'm kind of tired of this. Like, I want to see the offense kick into gear like it did last year. And so I'm going to kind of use, not that I'm very superstitious, but I talked about the run game last week thinking that it might open up a little bit, but I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. So I'm hoping me talking about the offense just going out there and just absolutely shredding the living shit out of the Saints in the Superdome. I'm hoping they can do that. That'd be nice. I got no ill will or specific dislike of Andy Dalton, but I will say his like was it Instagram or Twitter? They're kind of oddly uh, arrogant or cocky. I remember I saw his post when he went to Dallas, and I know that Dak hadn't signed his deal yet, and he was kind of holding out for a long-term deal. And he said something like, "Dallas, your king has arrived," and it's got a picture of him like looking off into the stadium or something like that. And I'm like, really? You're probably going to be a backup, dude. Like, that's the most likely outcome. So I don't know if he's done that with the Saints and the Bears, but whatever. I'm starting to think that Andy Dalton is just like, okay, I got to go to a different NFC team or another team that's going to play the Bengals next year or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what he tells his agent. So, but Saints are pretty bruised and battered right now. Last time I checked. Let's see here. I just saw a whole bunch of inactives. Oh, that's week 6. Let's see here. Maybe they haven't. Yeah, injury report. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yep. I mean, man, they got a bunch of people. Jarvis Landry is out. Marshawn Lattimore is out. Michael Thomas is out. Deontay Hardy is out. Defensive end Peyton Turner is out. Chris Olave is questionable. They got a guard who's questionable. Another cornerback who's questionable. Safety, defensive tackle. Of course, they're saying Jameis Winston's questionable, but I think they already announced that Dalton would be the starter, so Jameis might suit up in like an emergency type role. So I do think we're going to see some Taysom Hill. I think they're going to have some Taysom Hill action for us. And, I'm just hoping that that the defense is prepared for that, because he brings a very different energy, a very different vibe, and a very different play, feel, and all that stuff. And, he tore it up last week. So, but I'm hoping they can bottle up Taysom Hill. I'm hoping they can make, like I said, nothing personal, but I'm hoping they can make Andy Dalton look like a backup. I'm hoping they can go out there and just absolutely bulldoze the Saints, both the defense and the offense. Looks like Jonah Hill, Jesus, Jonah Williams is going to play. Jonah Hill's an actor; he doesn't play on the Bengals. I'm thinking that looks like Jonah Williams is going to play. Very possible. I guess they did practice, or at least they were dressed. I don't know if they actually practiced. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. What do they got here? Hayden Hurst is questionable. Limited all week. Jonah Williams didn't practice until Friday, but was limited. Did practice limited. T. Higgins practiced limited Friday. Collins is a full practice on Friday. Samaje P. Ryan's full practice. And that's all the injury. Wow. Bengals injury report's really tiny, comparatively speaking, to the Saints. The Saints have a really long um, injury report. So, um, considering all that, a lot of their starting wide receivers are going to be out. I guess so. This is where I'm going to get into maybe how I see the game going. So take what I say with a grain of salt. But um, I've said it before, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it down again. This feels like it has all the potential of being a full-on get-right game. Kind of in the way they did with the Jets, although it wasn't perfect, still a little rough. This one feels like it could be a get-right game. You know, Burrow and Chase and hell, Tyler Shelvin. I don't even know if he's going to play, but he is active. Last time I checked, he was on the active roster. I don't know if they put him back down to practice squad or not. But these guys are gonna want to show, because that's where they won their national championship at. It's a bit of a homecoming. So, I believe that the Bengals are going to have a get right game, and I think they're going to pop off, and I think they're going to score over 30 for the first time this year. God, I hope I don't have to eat crow on Monday. Please don't make me eat crow. But I do think that they will get there. All that being said, I'm going to see what the line is. Bengals plus 2.5. Man, they're calling that real tight. To hell with it. I think the Bengals are going to win by a touchdown or better. I'm going to put that down there. So, here's to hopefully not eating crow on Monday. So, I do believe that the Bengals are going to come out and they're going to. I think that they're really going to give the Saints a lot of problems, both offensively and defensively. I think the defense is going to want to assert themselves a little more than they did last week. Trey Hendrickson. Well, that's kind of a homecoming for him, not for the LSU, but because he was a Saint. I think Eli Apple is going to feel like he wants to show them why he was, I don't know, worthy of a contract and they never gave him one or whatever it was. A lot of people don't like Eli Apple, but hey, hate to tell you this, but his stats are pretty good this year if you're an Eli Apple hater. I don't have a phenomenal amount of emotional investment, in the hating or the loving of Eli Apple. I don't really I someone I know said Eli Apple is a trash, and I kind of pointed out, look, Eli Apple can be frustrating, make no mistake, but let's try to keep in context the Dre Kirkpatrick years, who was basically a pass interference penalty machine. It was like all you had to do was just run by him, and he'd grab, he'd twist and turn, pull on your jersey. I mean, he'd be holding on the jersey, and the wide receivers just dragging him along the ground, and I mean, it was just guaranteed he was going to give a pass interference. He was a terrible cornerback. He had really poor skills, and he got beat a lot, and that's what he did. He would just go for the the Hail Mary, so to speak, just hold on, and hopefully the ref is, I don't know, blind or some shit. Say what you want about Eli Apple, and many things can be said. He does like to stir the chili pot on Twitter and whatever. Um, but him and uh, Cheeto, man, they are killing it. They really are. And I mean, everybody, some people I saw on some of the Bengals groups were talking about, defense needs to step up. They're letting the Ravens march all over us. It's like Mark Andrews is like, I'm not saying he's quite Hall of Fame tight end, but right now he's like a starting Pro Bowl tight end. He's really, really, really good. And they scheme their offense creatively to make him a feature of the offense. And so sometimes it is frustrating when the Bengals let someone go by. There was one play where Mark Andrews got by and looked like Flowers was handing off, like he thought he was handing off coverage to somebody else, but there was just nobody there. And when you realized it, he couldn't catch back up in time. So I this game feels like it can be a get right game. I feel like the Bengals are going to pop off and just lay a whooping down. So here's to hoping I'm right. So in the meantime, I'm going to get off here. I know this is a little bit of a shorter stream. I mean, well, it's not that short, but please, so kind of getting back before I kind of sign off here. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I very, very, very much appreciate it. And please feel free to share the stream, share the channel, share the live streams after they're done if you like them. I appreciate it very much. It's one of those things where I'm trying to build this, trying to get this to something. I don't care how good I get. I don't care how big it gets, but I want to make it so that it's worthwhile. Because I have a lot of fun doing this. I mean, hell, I get to sit here and chat and drink beer. But I will say the one thing that's probably missing is your comments, your feedback. Please give me feedback, whether you message me privately on the Facebook page. You can message me. It's Way of the Dad Podcast on Facebook. Same thing here on YouTube. And but if you watch these streams after they're done, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll see it, or as soon as I see it, I will go ahead and respond to it. I mean, comments show up as far as I can tell, so I would definitely respond to it in as intelligent of a way as I can. And but yeah, let's continue to build this. I appreciate all the subscriptions and anybody who tunes in and watches, whether it's 10 seconds or 10 minutes or 10 hours or whatever the heck, however much I've done at this point. I very much appreciate all of it. So that'll be it for today, and probably gonna get some more work done tomorrow. I'm gonna take a good long pause for some beer, some chicken wings, and some Bengals tomorrow, watching our boys down in New Orleans. So until next time, cheers. Who-Dey. And until next time, take care and have a great day.